Alright, we got a 01 Mazda Miata NB with the 1.8 paired with a manual transmission. Got like 174,000 miles on her, so it's probably the summer daily, but we're gonna make it reliable. I gotta do some fun stuff to her. It's not really so fun. We're gonna be doing time belt, water pump, some other maintenance, plugs, wires, ignition coil. But main part of the video here is going to be the time belt and water pump on this. So, yep, that's going to be going on here. So, first part is going to be taking off this air intake. Let's get her off. Alright, so in order to remove the time belt, I'm going to have to remove the valve cover. In order to remove the valve cover, I got some stuff to remove. I'm gonna lift this up a little bit. Can't see much like that. There you go. Okay. I also have new plugs, wires. I got a new thermostat and gasket to put on it. Looks like this gasket leaned a little bit, so we still got a little pressure in the cooling system. Not gonna touch that. Gonna start off with just unplugging these things though. Gonna have to get done. My wiring harness. I'm gonna move to the side here. Very careful with these connectors. They're brittle and they like to break, so be very careful with them. Alright, so I just did a little video on how to replace a fuel filter. If you're interested, go watch that. It's on the channel. So, drain the coolant. Let's see. Oh, lovely. Aluminum skid plate. I don't know why. Okay, well, get your 10 mil. I'm guessing this is probably just like stock. Why do people do this? Oh, hold up. Here's the coolant drain. I don't even gotta remove this. Where's the oil drain plug then? Oh, way back here. Okay. Well, I am just gonna remove the coolant drain plug and we're just gonna catch a little catch can and call it a day. Time to do that. Alright, coolant's draining through the skid plate into the drain pan. While that's doing that, start taking out the radiator hose, loosen the bolt. Just slide right off. Might lose a little bit, so whatever. Hose looks fine. Set this off to the side. Oh, we got 11 millimeter holding the thermostat housing on. Got Lucy over there. So Lucy. Yeah, she on the chain so she don't drink anything. What? 11 millimeter. This right here. This is the bottom one. It's kind of hard to see. Right below it. Oh. So it looks like the bottom one's a stud and the top one's a nut. Ow. Pinch my skin. Alright, look at that. Little thermostat housing. Set that off to the side. Alright. So there's gonna be another 10 mil kind of under this guy right here. Make sure you can see that. Another 10 mil right under here. Gonna have to remove that in order to move this little bracket to get the timing covered. He's covered in gunk and sludge. This guy. Okay, we'll plier him. Hold it from this side. Alright, so now it's time to remove our accessory belts. And a little hose here and a little hose here. We can both remove those, I guess. These out of the way. These are gonna have to come off. Tool like this, go right in between the hose, and kind of separate it from where it's at, because these guys get brittle and like to break sometimes, so you just pull it. So, twist it a little bit, and then it should come off. Alright, so take this belt off here. The alternator is the tensioner. So you got a tensioning bolt. As you can see, tensioning bolt right there, and then you got the bolt that holds it right here. So you're gonna have to loosen this guy first and then loosen this one. Loosening this lets it get free, and there's also, no, okay, so just loosen this guy here and loosen this one, and I'll let that slide. Alright, so got the belt slid right off after we loosened this bolt and this bolt. We're gonna now loosen, that was the back belt, right? So that's the alternator water pump. Now we're gonna do power steering AC belt. So a lot of people delete this for more power. I'm using it. What? Alright, so got a bolt here. It's gonna hold the kind of tensioner in place, and you got the bolt that's gonna move up and down. So hit this guy first. Just loosen it, and then move that down some. Should give us the slack we need. No, it didn't. I'd expect you to move the pulley in order to get to a bolt behind here. You can see that. Can't see it too well. So, just gonna move the harmonic balancer to where we need to be. Right here, so you can see that bolt. So 14. Double check, yeah. It's 14. Here. And apparently there's a nut in the back that holds it in. Don't know about that. Feel back here. Oh. Alright, so there's a nut kind of hidden back here. Just gonna zoom in on it. It's gonna be right there. It's kind of connected all the way through, and it holds the power steering fully in place. And that is what holds tension for the belt. So now we should go with this. There you go. Pull it down. And this belt will slide off. second row off. You need valve covers, couple bolts on the sides to hold it on, your ignition coils. Alright, so, made a mistake of trying to take this off. You're not supposed to, you're just supposed to take this bolt back here off. And in the event of that, destroy the threads on this bolt. Don't take these off, no need, because then you also have to replace an O-ring that's like impossible to find. So, take this guy up back here. It's gonna be copper washers. You should probably replace. I saw other people reusing them. I don't know if that's a good idea, in my opinion. But, what's this? I'm gonna replace those, but they got back there. All other bolts are off. I left 2 bolts on back here, and that's not a good idea. Okay, those are 11s. Alright, and it should just kind of slide off here. And you're going to want to replace all these gaskets. We'll get to that here in a second. It's not time to do that yet. And this belt's got some play to it. I don't see what brand it is, but I mean, honestly, not awful. Probably could have ran it for a little bit longer, but I like being safe so I don't get stranded. So, okay. Well, I'm gonna get a rag and clean off all the sides of it, and then we'll start taking the rest of these parts off. Alright, so, gonna start moving this guy now. I already got 2 of the bolts off from before. That's from a bracket holding some wires. So, let's continue this. They're 10s. So, make sure you're keeping these in safe spots. Or else you will be lost. Another bolt down here behind that connector. Okay, find the right tool. It's not the right tool. I just pinch it in the back. I'll probably see this. Sweet. so I don't break that connector. This guy down, and then you'll slide this on off. And it looks like someone RTV'd this before. Didn't work out too well for them. Let's see if I can find an original gasket, I guess. Alright, so you got some other timing cover bolts here and here. And then gotta remove the water pump pulley, 3 bolts, 10mm. And then remove the harmonic balancer. So you're gonna hold it with a, like I held it with a torque wrench. Then use a 10mm just to unbolt it. Alright, well, I thought I could do all this without getting the radiator out, but looks like radiator's gonna come out. It's gonna make life 10 times easier. Just got 2 bolts here, and then got the plugs for the fans. Alright, so I took out the air box and the radiator because, yeah, I couldn't do much. And just broke the crank pulley bolt loose with impact. Just try to get in there. And yeah, here's your guy here. Now these are supposed to come apart, but mine wasn't, so I just took it off. So now, don't start taking your belt off yet. We still have to put it top dead center and line everything up. But still have to take off this guy here. There's one more. Timing cover bolt going in. And then I should be able to just take this guy off. Yeah. Yep. That's somewhere safe. And doing water pump too, so it's gonna be behind everything. That's lovely. Alright, so top dead center, time mark here, time mark there, and time mark there. Now I'm gonna remove the tension pulley. Just gonna go ahead and loosen this guy. Keep this guy safe. I'm gonna put this with my new one. Alright. Now should be able to just, or spring's kind of holding it on. Pair of needle nose or wire cutters. There. So go ahead and put that bolt with your old one now. Next to your new one. Cams move, the cam did move. It is lovely, okay. Old belt off. Probably gonna have to remove. Trying to position that cam back in place, but it wants to move. Alright, so go ahead and remove the idler pulley now. And the old spring. So I can keep this boot and reuse that, but it comes with a new spring. The kit does. So move this bad boy and keep the bolt. Don't want to lose this. Wow. That's making some noise. Good thing we're replacing it. Alright. So now we're going to get back to the water pump. Doesn't look too bad. It just looks like we have to get behind the power steering pump. Oh, let me grab it real quick. Look at this. The absolute absolute bare minimum. Alright, well, water pump is back here, so this is what it looks like out of the car. You got a decent amount of bolts holding it in, or I should maybe, I guess just 4, but a lot of stuff connected to it that we're going to have to disconnect real quick. So let's start doing that. Alright, so I'm bolted 4 bolts that hold the water pump in, but there's still 2 that are connecting to the radiator, low radiator hose that goes back there. So you're gonna have to take this bolt out that's right in there, slides through there, goes to the other side with the bolt on this end, holds the power steering pump in, and you're gonna have to move it out of the way. Alright, so just moving the power steering pump out of the way, you have access to the bolts down here. One there, and there's gonna be one below it. Alright, so now this guy's a 17, just unbolts and comes right out. And then I believe this guy's a 14. Yeah, 14 on this cam gear, it's gonna come right out. And you have some bolts back here that are gonna hold the water pump into. So use a ratchet and wrench to get in between there. That is a pain. Split that, come right out. This is not fun to do. And honestly, this wasn't bad either, but I mean, there's no play in it. I don't know. Rather be safe than sorry. So this is gonna go bye-bye. Get your old gasket off. Both sides of the gasket. So, sweet. This looks fun. This is just a nasty mess. Ooh. Time to get the scraper and scrape this hoe off. It's a mess. Alright, now you're going to take the clamps, move this off, and there's going to be an O-ring in here that comes in the kit too. You're going to want to replace because this has some play, it moves around. So you're going to make sure to replace that O-ring. So, she's out, new O-ring on. Now while this is pulled out a little bit, I'm going to install in the water pump. Right now, onto this part with the new gasket, just makes it a little bit easier. Then I'm going to push it back, push the O-ring over, and install it with the new gasket onto the block. Alright. So torque those bolts down to 19 to 25 foot-pounds of torque, and don't be afraid to use some thread lock. Alright, so now we're, after putting this back plate on, it's like 11 foot-pounds of torque on the back plate. We're install our cam gears, E for exhaust facing up with the dot facing up. This, spin until it slides on. Can't misalign this guy here. And torque specs on these are 41 foot-pounds of torque. It's like 39 to 41, I'm pretty sure. So I also use a little thread lock on this one just because you can. And this one you can't thread lock. Alright, so now we're going to be installing the tensioner pulley and the idler pulley. Tensioner goes here. I'm sorry. Yeah, tensioner goes here, idler goes there. I'm also going to be using red thread locks so they don't back out. Alright, so after getting red thread lock on both these threads here, don't tighten this one down all the way yet. What we're going to do is sleeve from the old spring, take the old spring, toss it out, get your new spring. and put your spring in the sleeve, and then you're gonna have to kind of do a little something here. Using those pliers would be the best at this. You have to go over the spring and then under for this guy. Can you see that? I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing in there. So, gotta attach the little, there's gonna be a little stud sticking out. One of the springs going on the stud, the other end of the spring's going on the tensioner and pulley. I'm gonna get needle those pliers and attempt this. Alright, so we're gonna turn her now 2 times by hand.
You should tighten this coil over, tighten the passenger rear coil over all the way, that one all the way loose, and then the driver's side rear all the way loose. So then you're like
wobbling around like crazy.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Where's the torque wrench you had earlier? Oh, it's lying around here. Just the my long 1/2-inch ratchet. Alright, turning my T10 by hand now. Need to tighten the tensioner down too. As tight as you can get it. There we go. It doesn't move.
Even.
So after a couple different tries, we're finally able to line it up. It's really stupid because the way they made these motors, like the time marks are just, I don't know, because that little bit can look like it's off, but it really is on. So now let's put the VVT cover back on for oil pressure. All right, now that new time belt and new water pump are both installed, idlers, tensioners, time to put everything back together. So I'm gonna start with putting this power steering pump back to where it belongs. Everything behind it is as it needs to be. That new O-ring with the water pump is perfectly on there. Yep. So that shouldn't be an issue. If it is, it's not a crazy hard fix. So, man, we're gonna slide this power steering pulley and pump, pulley and pump assembly. Damn, wow. In place. Get a better view for you here. So, put this guy here. Can you see that? Yeah, this guy and the little gap there. Right there. Let's see if I can get this in. Kind of wiggle it in. There we go. W40 on it. We get a little mallet. There we go. That did something. Little extension. Don't risk hitting the big timing belt. Just gotta like expand that piece that our bolt has to slide through right behind in that little hole. So now we're just gonna wiggle it on in. Oh yeah, there you go. Perfect. Then slide it up, right? I can. So there we go. Gotta play with it a little bit, but sweet. That is secured in there. Now I gotta get the nut in the back. Make sure it ain't coming out. But that's the main part there. So just a hand tightener. Doesn't gotta be crazy tight yet. Cause we still gotta use this to tension the belt. So, but gotta put timing covers on now. So, and there's one more bolt that holds that in place. Here you go. It's over here. And this one, make sure it don't move after you get it set. So, gonna put that in there for now so it don't go too far. Alright, let's start getting the timing gears, our timing on. Alright, so let's start with this super bottom one first. Like slide behind the water pump pulley, per se. Interesting setup here. Okay. First timing cover piece going back on. And then I kept all of our lovely bolts and a little thing here. Kind of stupid decision, not gonna lie. But I know the lengths of what these have to be about. So, let's get these guys on. Speed ratchet's nice. Make this go by a lot faster. One of my greater investments. A nickname Speed Ratchet. Cookie, look, he says cookie. Right. Those two bolts are on. Not a bolt for, oh, there, you know what? There's gotta be a bolt for over here. Come on. Don't make no sense. Oh, there's, I'm blind. Literally right in front of my face. So, I'm guessing he probably went. That makes sense. More sense. There you go. Look at that. Sweet. Okay. Oopsies. Drop the speed ratchet. Also, what am I dropping, dude? I'm trying to go through and get all the grime off this before I put it back on, because I don't know if this thing's ever gonna see the light of day again, so I might as well do it now. Keep all the nastiness off. Probably just stops heat from getting out of the engine. So acts as like an insulator almost. I believe. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Okay. So we go up and around. What clip this slides into. This is stupid. Whoever designed this timing cover? I have a word with you. Must have been mad at the world. I mean, this is just dumb. Dumb, and a little bit more dumb. And then she's good. She ain't coming off. Alright, this time comes around. Go ahead and situation here. Your bolts are supposed to thread into the rear timing cover of the harmonic balancer. Kind of funny. That's kind of funny. Alright, so sweet. And where is our harmonic balancer bolt? Dumb. We're just gonna snug it up a little bit. It's good for now. Kind of slide in like so. Okay, so bend it back a little bit and slide her in. Well, that makes sense. Alright, so got all bolts with timing cover in. I'm gonna take a break and make another video on part 2 of the reassembly. But that, I mean, you're about there. Just have to install accessories, radiator, put the drain plug back in for that, fill it up, bleed it. So I'll do a separate video on all that. I'll put a link in the description for part 2. So see you then.